You are looking at how things are really made. Welcome back, Charlie here. These are some amazing production processes that don't seem real. I bet you never knew the products you use and the foods you eat were made like this. But be warned, you might not like some of these products anymore after learning how they're made. First, we have to look at transmission tower wires. We don't think of it much, but you use these every single day. They're how all of us get electricity. You may think the cables on these towers are spun by some kind of machine. But no, they're done by hand. That's right, these wires are actually coiled by hand. These workers truly are daredevils. Something tells me their helmets won't help much if they land on the floor. I have to say, knowing how these are made gives me a newfound appreciation for electricity towers. But have you ever wondered how these towers actually get to where they're supposed to be? You may think they're built from the ground up, but that's not true. They're actually made in a factory and then moved to the location by helicopter. Who knew electricity towers were so interesting? Moving on, we have to look at rubber gloves. Did you know that inside of rubber gloves are normal fabric gloves? These normal fabric gloves are then dipped inside hot rubber and left to cool. This happens in so many different colors, and I have to say it's one of the most satisfying production processes I've ever seen. But be careful, rubber glove factories are pretty dangerous. The rubber has to be heated to 180 degrees before it melts, meaning that if you fell into this, you would be boiled alive, and also coated in colorful rubber. Moving along, let's look at how everyone's favorite summer snack is made. Ice cream bars are made in a super satisfying way. They're sliced to the exact size using lasers. They're then dipped into melted chocolate and nuts, giving them that delicious hard shell. They're then packaged, ready for you to eat. Thousands of ice cream bars are made like this in just a few hours. Moving along, let's look at how metals are painted. Metals are often painted using a powder coat. This is where powdered paint is sprayed on metal, but some factories simply opt to dip the metal inside the powdered paint. They dip the metal in, shake it around, and just like that, the metal has been painted. Factories save literally hours every day by doing this. The end result looks just as good, and it's far more satisfying to watch than a normal paint job. Who knew watching paint dry could be so fun? Now let's look at these golden eggs. Where do those golden Easter eggs actually come from? Well, they're not from a magic goose, they're actually from this factory. This factory makes thousands of golden eggs every day. They do this by squirting paint from a nozzle over the eggs, creating an insanely satisfying process. Now let's look at how fruit slices are actually made. Someone sitting around cutting up fruit would take way too long. That's why factories use this amazing contraption. It may look like the blade is spinning really slowly here, but really it's spinning so fast the camera can't keep up. That's because the camera's frame rate is slower than the actual blade itself. It's basically making so many rotations, the camera simply freaks out. Even the fruit seems like it's moving in slow motion. They should call this machine the Fruit Ninja. Not only is it able to cut mango insanely fast, it also makes it very thin. Just be careful where you put your fingers if you're operating this machine. Moving along, let's look at molten iron. Ever wondered how iron creations are formed? Well, surprisingly, it's not all done by machines. Take a look at how this guy welds molten iron. He spins it around with tongs like it's no big deal. It looks a bit dangerous, but I guess this guy's a pro. And he looks insanely cool doing it. I'm not sure if this guy's wearing sunglasses because of the bright glowing metal, or if he simply wants to look even more cool. Now let's look at how this swirly gelato is made. This spinning machine has 6 nozzles. Each of them squirt out a different flavor of gelato. The mechanism then rotates these nozzles all at the same time, making a beautiful swirling effect in this tub. If I worked in this factory, I think I'd be watching this all day. It's just way too satisfying to take my eyes off. But I have to take your eyes off it to show you this. Take a look at how fast this hay bale can be wrapped. It used to take farmers a long time to wrap hay bales, but thanks to modern farming technology, it now takes them just a few seconds. These hay bale wrappers can lift and spin hay bales. They're then shrink wrapped using plastic, making sure no hay bales get wet. I just hope no animals ever stumble into this machine. Moving along, let's look at how pasta is made. This pasta cutting machine has a rotating arm. It does this in a circular motion very fast. This makes ribbed elbow pasta. This machine can make thousands of pasta pieces every day. You simply feed the pasta in and it does all the work for you. But this next production process doesn't even need a machine. The guy is just way too quick here. This man is making rock candy. It's pretty insane how fast this guy can actually make rock candy. This guy cuts candy straws at an insane speed. His hand is moving so fast, the camera can't even keep up. Moving along, let's look at how one of the most popular foods on the planet is made. I am of course talking about McDonald's French fries. Potatoes come to this factory already sorted by size. They're then washed and peeled. The potatoes are then put through these grates, cutting them into perfect fry sizes. The fries are then sifted. This removes any short or uneven fries. Dextrose is then applied to the fries. Dextrose is a natural sweetener. This gives the fries their unique taste and their trademark golden color. The fries are also treated with sodium pyrophosphate. This keeps the fries a nice bright color. The fries are then fried until they're half cooked. They're then frozen and put into packages, and are then transported to local McDonald's franchises. These fries can remain frozen for a year, meaning the fries you eat may have been made a year ago, but probably not. That's because there's so much demand, they're normally used a lot earlier than that. When they're in the restaurant, all the employees have to do is put the fries in hot oil for 3 minutes. They then sprinkle the cooked fries with salt, and voila, you have your McDonald's fries. It's nice to know how a food you eat actually ends up on your plate. Now let's look at how suitcases are made, or more specifically, how they're wrapped. Wrapping these suitcases really does look strange. The suitcase is pushed from beneath. They're then vacuum sealed with a colorful protective wrap. Now let's look at how contraception is made. Of course, they're made of a thin rubber. They're tested for quality control. This is done by filling them with water. This allows the factory to make sure the latex is strong enough. If any water leaks out, then there's clearly a hole, and the entire batch has to be thrown away. The testing is done on a random basis. They're also squeezed by a tester to make sure any micro holes aren't getting past their tests. They also do a test where they inflate these with air. This is to make sure it can withstand enough pressure. Each one has to withstand at least 1 kilo of Pascal pressure. Otherwise, it won't be approved for sale or use. Now let's look at ice cream sandwiches. Cookies are laid on a conveyor belt. Blocks of ice cream are then cut very precisely. Once they fall onto the cookie, another cookie is laid on top. This is done by a big rotating wheel. It's a very simple process, but also super satisfying and delicious. But what about every college student's favorite snack? This is how ramen noodles are made. The noodles are layered on massive conveyor belts. They're then exposed to hot air. This dehydrates the pasta. Once they're in boxes, various different condiments are added. They're then sealed up and ready for sale. Finally, let's take a look at how chicken nuggets are made. But I have to warn you, you might not want to eat chicken nuggets after seeing how they're actually created. For a long time, many people believed this was a chicken nugget factory. But thankfully, this photo is not a chicken nugget factory. Instead, they look like this. Chickens are cut up and then put into a grinder. A small amount of chicken skin is then added, which gives it a better flavor. The mushed up chicken is then put into a machine. The machine then molds the chicken into 4 different shapes. The chicken then goes down a conveyor belt and is coated with 2 layers of batter, 1 light layer and 1 thick layer. Afterwards, the chicken nuggets are fried, but only the batter is actually cooked. The meat simply warms up. That's because the chicken nuggets are then frozen. They're then distributed to local McDonald's stores, and that's how you get your chicken McNuggets. The process isn't exactly glamorous, but at least it's not this bad. But I don't think I'll ever eat chicken McNuggets again. Okay, that was a lie. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the most amazing production process in this video. If you want to see my short videos, then check out my second channel. I've been Charlie, thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.